Today's quote: "Progress is not built by doing something huge, but rather consistently doing ordinary things." Hey you guys, good to see you again. Start some ankle mobility. You're just going to do ankle circles both clockwise and counterclockwise, and then pointing your foot up and down both sides about 10 times for each movement. And I'm going to just tell you what warm-up we're going to do while you're doing that. We're going to do 2 rounds of this warm-up: 5 inchworms, 10 banded squats, 25 butt kickers, 15 light shoulder press, and 10 stretch to the sky and then to your toes. And we're going to go through that whole thing twice, and you'll get to see in just a minute how that works. But anyway, how is everyone today? If you're wondering why I'm wearing a really thick beanie and a sweatshirt with a long sleeve shirt under it, it's because that area of our home is not heated and it has no insulation, and it's the dead of winter. So it's about 40 degrees in there, which is actually warm. Sometimes it's even colder than that. And so we really have to bundle up. But the cool thing is that if you do a sufficient warm up, you can get plenty warm even in cold weather, but hopefully you're not in a room as cold as I am. For these inchworms, if you can't do a push-up, don't even worry about it. Just when you move out, just do a plank. So as here you see me going out, and just hold that plank instead of pushing down, doing the push-up. Just to basically what we're trying to do is warm up our shoulders there. And then when you're walking in with your legs, the idea is to keep them somewhat straight. So you come down and then try to keep your legs somewhat straight because you're trying to get a stretch in your hamstrings. This part right here is what you're trying to do there. But the main point is just to move, and I kind of tend to do different little things here and there depending on, just what feels tight, what feels stiff. We just want to get warm and have things feel more fluid. I have no idea what my son is doing during these workouts until I come back and look at the video later. He is such a ham. He actually does do this when I'm not recording too, but it is definitely at a heightened level with the video recording on. Now we'll move on to the banded squats. If you don't have a band, doesn't matter, just do some air squats. We're just warming up our glutes and our legs. I'm going to do about 10 to 15 of those. Then we're going to do the butt kickers again. You're basically trying to kick your bottom with your heels, and you really should feel a good stretch in your quads. It feels really good. You kind of slightly bend your legs as you're doing it. Just do 20 to 25 of those. Again, we're just trying to get warm and get things loosened up. Now we have shoulder press in the workout today, so we're gonna do some lighter shoulder press. Try to do about 15 of these if you can, just to warm up your shoulders. And then now we're just going to reach our body up with our fingers all the way up to the sky and down to our toes. You need to do that 10 times. There's no rush on this. Just do it slow and just really feel a good stretch. When you reach up, you should feel a good stretch in your back, in your low back. And then as you go down, you should feel a good stretch in your buttocks and your hamstrings. Having a little chance to copy my son here, being so dramatic. All right, So we're gonna go through that whole warm-up one more time, minus the ankle mobility. Wait, oh, my son's solo, hold up. But anyway, one more time, that whole thing, 5 inchworms, 10 squats with a band or without, 25 butt kickers, 15 light shoulder press, and 10 stretch to the sky and then to your toes, all right? So while you do that, I'm just going to talk a little bit more about our next steps for Inspireful Woman. I got some really good feedback so far on the first workout video. One thing what I totally agree with was that it's awkward and hard to work out when there's complete silence. And I agree with that. And actually I wanted to put music to the first video, but here's the honest truth. It took me so many hours just to get together what I got with that video when it came to like the editing and the overdubbing and figuring out like, you know, the audio software to do the audio and lining things up and figuring out where I was in the workout when I was doing the overdubbing, because it was like there was 3 rounds and I kept losing track of which round it was. And anyway, it was a mess and it took a lot of hours, and I basically was so overwhelmed and tired by the end of, you know, days of trying to get this together that I just started crying late at night. And then I was like at that point where I had it where it was, but no music. And I was like, you know what? I just need to get this out there. Like, I just have to start. I can't try to make it perfect. So that was the very first video. And now I feel ready. I'm a little more rested. I got through that first difficult thing, and you know, now I don't have to figure out everything from scratch. I have a little bit more under my belt. And so hopefully when you're listening to this, you will be hearing some music throughout parts of the video. We will continue to tweak and figure out what's best as we go along. Some of you did actually mention that you liked me talking in the video, which is very nice of you. Thank you. I do sometimes like to think of this, I know you can't talk back and everything, but it is fun feeling like we're ladies having a conversation, and it is nice to be able to share thoughts and to commiserate about things in life. I don't know that I can always keep it up. For those of you who love it, it does take a lot of energy, of course, to have a conversation, but at the same time, I do like it. So we'll see. But anyway, so I really do appreciate the feedback that you give me, and the more that you can write in, whether it's through email, you can email me at inspirefulwoman@gmail.com, or through the comments on YouTube here. The more you share, your age, your abilities, what equipment you have access to, what you're willing to get when it comes to equipment, what types of limitations you have, the more you share that with me, the more I can work at really fitting this to you in a way that makes it as enjoyable as it can be for you. So we're almost done here with our warm-up. I'm going to take you through what the workout's going to be, and I'm actually going to demo several of the movements today before we actually start the workout. Hopefully that'll help you a little bit. And I might talk a little bit more, but then I think I'm going to just try to play some music this time and see what you think. And remember, if you don't like the music, you can totally push that mute button and play your own favorite music, and you can play it loud. That's what my son and I do. Sometimes we're bopping around, he's bopping around, and that's because we have loud music that we love on. So anyhow, let's get into showing you the movements of the workout for today. Okay, so our workout today is going to be 3 rounds of 12, I'll show you, but 12 per side split squats, a max hold plank, 10 per side single arm shoulder press, 90 dumbbell hops, and then a max hold plank again. And you're going to go through that whole thing 3 times. So I'm going to demo a few of these movements for you now though, okay? This is the rear foot elevated split squat because your rear foot is elevated and your legs are split. With this, the height of the box or whatever you use, like a chair or a sofa or whatever, matters as far as how comfortable it feels. This is actually a bit too high for me, being 5'1". It wasn't as comfortable as what I usually use. And then when you squat down, you want the knee that's bending in front, the standing leg, you want that to not be coming over your toes. So you can see mine is either in line with my toes or behind a little bit. If it's a little too challenging to do the split squat with your foot elevated behind you, you can do them on the ground like this. You don't have to use weight. It just depends on where you're at. If you're having trouble with balance but still want to try this move, you can also put your hand on like a counter or the back of a sofa to kind of hold your balance. But you'll do all 12 on each side before moving to the other side. The other thing is you can just skip the split squats entirely and just do squats. That would be fine too. So just whatever you feel comfortable with, all that matters is that we're moving. The max hold plank, I wanted to show you real quick. You don't want your butt up in the air like that. You want your butt to stay as low. You want to try to keep your body straight as you can. On your elbows is the hardest. Then when you go to your palms, that's easier. And then on your knees, on your palms would be easier. So you just hold the plank as long as you can, basically. These are the dumbbell toe hops. I did 90 of them. You just need something short as a target that's stable, that's not going to like roll off and hurt you, to tap your feet on. You can also just do it on the ground as well, like that. Okay, so just something short and stable, or just use the ground. I did about 90 of those in the workout. So anyway, we're gonna start our workout now, and we'll start with the elevated split squats with 12. I'm just gonna give you a couple more pointers here as we start, just because this does take a fair amount of balance and there's different positioning that kind of affects whether it feels good or doesn't feel good. So how far away your standing foot is from the raised surface behind you makes a difference, both on kind of like what muscles it's working, as well as like if it feels good or causes you pain later. So usually you might end up with your standing foot a little closer to the box. You'll just have to kind of try and see what works good for you. And again, important for the knee that's bending the standing leg to not be going in front of your toes, coming forward. You want to think about kind of driving up more so than like forward when you're doing that movement. I have no idea what I'm telling my son right now. Probably like he's being too crazy or something. I don't know. So I'm like, take the ham stuff down a notch. Although you guys probably love it. I don't know. For me, sometimes it's a little distracting when I work out. So anyway, yep, so you do that, and you just want to make sure it's a controlled movement. So if you use weight and you can't really control the down, like you're kind of like almost falling down and then pushing back up, like use less weight or don't use any weight until you build the strength to do that. If you feel like your hip flexor's hurting too much, try bringing your standing foot in closer to the box or the surface that you have your rear foot on, and that could help alleviate that. So yep, so just do 12 each side of those, and then the max hold plank, 10 per side single arm shoulder press, the 90 dumbbell hops, and then the max hold plank again, and just do the 3 rounds of that. And I think I'm gonna go ahead and just let you guys have some music for a bit, huh? Sound good? That's it, ladies. Thank you guys so much for being with me today. I hope you got a good workout, and please stay tuned. I have a lot more fun things in my head for Inspireful Woman that I hope that I can bring you if you're enjoying it. See you later. Bye.